So to start off, safety-wise, I'm gonna go over the 4 safety rules with you guys. Bo, you probably know them, but we have 2 different experience levels here, so it's always good to go over them. First one being, treat every firearm as if it's loaded. That's the first thing you do before even walking up to a firearm, right? Second one is, if you're gonna pick it up, keep your finger off the trigger until you're ready to fire, okay? Obviously it's a little vague because sometimes we're gonna be drawing from holsters today, but the rule still applies whether you're picking it up off the table or coming from the holster. You're not gonna have your finger on the trigger until you're on target ready to fire anyway, so still applies there. Third one,
know your target and what's beyond it.
Well, first, don't point it at anything you're not willing to destroy. It's pretty obvious, right? Especially, it goes back to the first rule of treat it as if it's loaded. So even if I think it's unloaded or whatever, you know, I'm not going to be flagging you guys. That's a term you'll hear if we have to tell you that, like, hey, be aware of flagging your partner or flagging a teammate. That just means don't, you know, muzzle them. Yeah, just
don't point
flash
your gun
them
at
with
them.
the muzzle. There will be times where we will use the fake airsoft gun to point it at each other when we're doing a little more close quarter stuff. But in a case like that, we'll verify that it is 100% unloaded, even though it's an airsoft gun.
It doesn't have the orange tip, so just before people get crazy about that not having an orange tip, that's the airsoft gun.
And then the last, so going forward, the 4th rule is be aware of your target and anything beyond your target. So with the understanding of those 4 safety rules, we have a firing line up there. Those are the 2 wooden 2x4s. We will not have you load any rounds into the chamber until we get up to that firing line. So back here, you know, you're gonna load your mags and everything back here. Obviously, Dane will help you doing all that stuff and walking you through that. But when we have one in the chamber, it will always be
on the firing line.
On the firing line. So that's the only time we'll be quote unquote hot. So when you hear hot range, that means, you know, we're going hot, we're loading one to the chamber, about to start the drill. When we unload you guys, we'll give you a command saying unloaded, show clear. That way you'll take the mag out, you'll hold the chamber open. Obviously he will assist you with all that kind of stuff. Hold the chamber open, show that you're clear, and then after everyone's clear, we'll call cold range. That's when we'll come back here, do more talking, demonstrate the next technique, all that kind of stuff. So hot range means, you know, we should be on the firing line. We all have hot weapons. Don't leave the firing line for any reason. If you need to leave for any reason, just let me or Dane know, or Dane and I know. And then we'll unload you, show clear, and then we'll get you off the firing line for whatever reason you need to. Okay. Anything were to happen where we have an injury, anything like that, gunshot wound, or you just fall, scrape your knee or whatever. In my backpack right here, I have trauma kit, boo-boo kit, anything from small scratches to gunshot holy wounds. Crap, I have 10 gunshot wounds on my leg, you know, stuff like that. So we're prepared in that sense. Obviously, we can give a call right to AJ. We can have someone run up there. They'll fly in a helicopter, medvac, to get you to the nearest hospital, whatever, so.
Bo can stabilize you.
Yes.
While you're bleeding.
Exactly.
we have former Army that are TCCC certified.
100%. So, so that basically covers all the safety stuff. Do you guys have any questions about that? First thing we're going to work on is the draw and the presentation. So the first thing is choosing your clothing, right, and garments. Usually, most people carrying bigger guns, you're going to wear a shirt that's a little bit bigger to cover and conceal the firearm. You don't have to necessarily worry about that today, but for you, that's what you might have to do depending on the gun. It's bittersweet, right, because you're going to have more fabric to clear in order to bring the gun out, but it gives you more surface area to initially grab it. Right, so obviously this doesn't apply to you, but when you come to the presentation, it will apply to you. So when you first come down, there's really two methods that people usually do, a couple methods actually, but I just grab anywhere on my clothing, right? And I try to grab as low as possible, right? As long as it's below middle, right? Because if I grab up here, I'm not gonna be able to clear it. But as long as I get the middle of the shirt or down, I can bring it up to clear the gun just enough, right? Because we don't have to. Sometimes you see people like coming up here to clear. I don't care if you necessarily do that, because I can understand the philosophy of trying to make sure that you're not going to get snagged on the gun. However, you'll find that when you get more efficient at it, you only have to bring it up just enough to clear the gun. Yeah. Because when I come out, the shirt's not going to be, no matter where the shirt is right here, I'm out here, it's not going to get caught on anything, right? So I grab anywhere and just try to make it center line, right? At least center line or right to the left of the gun. And I just bring it straight up. And at the same time, my hand is coming up and I'm trying to get right behind that beaver tail, right? And for you, just when I'm talking about beaver tail, it's this little part of the gun right here. And I'm just trying to get I want to get the meat of my hands right down there as deep as possible. So that way I come out with a good firing grip. If you come this shallow and you leave all that gap and you come out, you know it's not going to be a good firing grip. So we're trying to get that master grip, as they call it, right out from the gate. Now, so when I grab middle and I bring up, I don't want to do it just enough to clear the gun. Like I said, I want to try to get up high as possible in the time that it's taking my other hand to move at the same time, right? So I'm going to come up and I'm going to come down onto the gun as soon as the shirt clears. Now notice how I'm putting my thumb over on top of the rear irons. And the reason I do that is because sometimes, like, I'm not even that big of a dude and my stomach will get in the way a lot of the times if I'm trying to bring my thumb around to get the grip right here, right? So it's not very consistent and it's not accurate every time. So I can be more consistent every time just driving my thumb down. Another thing that we can think of too is when we start doing this live, when I have my thumb out here, it automatically wants me to keep, it forces my finger to stay on the index point up here, right? It's very uncomfortable for me to extend my finger down to put it onto the trigger, right? So with me keeping my thumb up here, it feels natural for my finger to be on the index point away from the trigger until I wrap my thumb around. That's when my finger will come into the trigger right there. Now it feels comfortable because my thumb's down. With my thumb up high, it almost forcing my finger off the trigger, so it's a little more safer and it's also a little more consistent. So as I grab, I'm coming up, moving my hands at the same time, grabbing this, coming down with my thumb out, and I'm bringing it out right here. As soon as I clear the holster, I'm coming down, I'm dropping my elbow, and as I drop, at the same time I'm dropping my elbow, my thumb is coming around here to start my master grip, as they call it, to start building with my non-dominant hand, okay? So in the slower motion, we're moving our hands at the same time, right? If we start here, you know, like surrender position, or if you start here, right? I'm coming down with both hands at the same time. Boom, my thumb on the irons, coming out. And at the same time, I'm starting to drop my elbow, I'm bringing the thumb around, okay? So from here, as I come out, as I'm dropping my thumb down, here's where I'm gonna release the garment. I'm gonna start riding up and building my master grip with my non-dominant hand to fill in all that gap right here. And then you're gonna press out. I think of it like as an escalator. So as soon as I come out and I drop my elbow, escalator up.
At a 45 degree.
Yeah. So the gun theoretically should be level here because, as we'll demonstrate later with some of our other techniques, there's gonna be times where people are really close up on you in 2 feet where you might have to shoot from here. Okay, we're not really gonna do too much live fire from retention right here today, but we will do some dry fire techniques from here. But there will be times where as soon as I drop my elbow, oh my God, the guy's coming up on me, I'm gonna have to drive rounds in him here, right? Especially if he's 2 feet in front of me, you know, I wouldn't want to extend out and give him the opportunity to grab the gun. So slower again, I'll do the whole thing all the way from start. So we're coming up, I'm gonna bring up, grab anywhere middle of the shirt, behind the irons. I keep my finger down on top of my belt, so that way as soon as I bring it up, it's on the index point, dropping my elbow, bringing it around, building the master grip, escalator up. Okay, I'll do it a little bit more smooth. I won't really explain it as much. Grab shirt, boom, out, escalator up. When you come here and you do the escalator, it allows you to pick up the sights faster than just trying to do this or do a lot of the habits you see where people do like this,
Bowling.
or coming out. That's called fishing. You got bowling, you got fishing, right? These are all necessarily inefficient ways. Not only is it slower because it's more movement, but it's going to be slower because you're not going to be able to pick up your sights as fast. If you're here and you have it parallel to the ground and you just keep it parallel to the ground, just bring it right up to your eyesight, you're going to pick up the sights like it's nothing. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and work that a little bit.
So just before we start that, just another option for clearing your garment, because for me personally, I don't like grabbing the lowest I can on the shirt because I notice I fumble and hit my gun a lot. So I come up just above the pistol grip, and I like almost smack myself in the stomach and lift up, and I'm already clear, right? So it's just more not efficient, but just my personal way.
No, 100%. That's
garment.
basically what I do. Sometimes you'll see me grabbing low if my hands start low, but if I'm starting up here, or if like I'm dealing with a person up here, I have to go middle. And I don't necessarily. Sometimes I'll grab the bottom if my hands are down here, like I'm acting like I'm not trying to be threatening. But I always usually will just smack myself, like he was saying, and literally just to grab a bunch of shirt in my hand to make it more consistent. Because if you, like he was saying, if you do try to just like every time you'll see people try to grab the bottom of the shirt. It's really not consistent between every position. Like trying to grab the bottom of your shirt from up here, like sometimes, like I found it there, but sometimes if without looking, sometimes it's going to be hard to find that bottom. Whereas you just tell yourself, I'm just going to grab any piece of shirt that comes in contact with me. Like I can grab my piece of shirt above my gun, and I can come up here and I can still draw. I can grab it over here, I can still draw. So it's more consistent. You can you don't have to be as accurate where you grab the shirt. Whereas trying to go for the seams down here, which a lot of other people seem to do, it's just not really consistent every time.
I just find myself fumbling more with the lower of the shirt.
100%.
You know. So,
sometimes, like when I'm coming up from here, I accidentally just grab the shirt because, like I said, since I'm not looking at the shirt, because we're not looking down as we draw, I just bring my hand up, and as soon as I feel shirt, I'm just taking the shirt with me, right? So sometimes that happens to be the bottom. Sometimes it happens to be up here. You know, it's just whenever I feel shirt in my hand, I'm just ripping that shit up, trying to get it out of the way.
Back. Remember, it's like a fight, like we're fighting.
Cool. All right, so the first stance I want you guys to practice, get in your fighter stance. You know, you want to have your dominant foot a little back, perfect.
A little more to the right.
There, good. Just so you're ready to fight, you know, kind of like someone's fucking with you, you know. You can always be ready to fight with your feet. You don't have to necessarily be up here with your fists, right? Because if you're trying to show that, hey, I don't want any problems, you know, you could still be ready to go to, you know, to fight with just making sure your stance is like this. So if something has to happen, you can make it work, right? So we're gonna start hands down, like we're nonchalant. Something happened, some guy just pulls a gun on you, and you're like, holy shit, I need to do what I gotta do, what have you.
Shooters ready.
Ready.
Stand by.
All right, you can reholster.
Okay, so we're gonna do this. Now hold it out how you were. Nope. So you had your thumb up here.
Give me another presentation.
So you want to bring that thumb around.
I'm like, man, yep.
There you go. Now holster.
You're good.
Holster.
Good. And bring it back. Beautiful. All right, shooters ready again?
Ready.
Stand by.
Nice.
Excellent, beautiful.
Very good. So rack it again, and then holster.
Cool. Beautiful.
Shooters ready.
Ready.
Stand by. So remember, we want knuckles on knuckles, and then
When you come out,
beautiful.
drop your elbow faster.
And
Because what's happening is you're pulling it out, and you're coming all the way like out here, and you're dropping your elbow like when you come up, when you're up here.
Okay.
When I come out, my elbow's dropping like here because I want to start building my grip as soon as possible. You can't start building your grip until your elbow drops, because how you know what I mean?
Okay.
So drop elbow as soon as you feel the holster clear. As soon as the muzzle of the gun clears, you're dropping your elbow, so that way you can start building that master grip up.
Okay.
But actually, when you get here, the presentation out looks really good.
Okay.
Shooters ready?
Ready.
Stand by.
Nice.
That was better, a lot better.
Shooters ready.
Ready.
Stand by. Okay, hold. So you see this gap right here?
Mhm.
You want to push up as much as you can.
You're almost, do it slowly for me real
And
quick.
then finger off the trigger. And then holster.
Better. Or it'll get more fluid as we go. It's almost like you have a lot of retention on there?
No, I think there's a lot of play.
Okay,
It's not worn in yet. You know what I mean?
perfect. Okay, that's fine. So that might be why, because it's like you have to pull on it, tug in it. So that's fine. It will smooth out as we go, but it looks good. And this scenario, right? A lot of things could happen, but the main gist is we're trying to have our hands up here, like to calm him down, but we're also trying to be ready if we have to fight or if we have to keep our distance. If he pulls a knife, you know. So he's like here, so I'm ready. Like, hey man, like chill. You know what I mean? So you could do a lot with this, right? So we have to be able to know how to go from here really quick, not just down here. Just please keep your distance. I'm just trying to keep my personal space. I'm sorry for whatever happened, whatever, okay? So that's the goal.
Hands up, Tiff. So like push. Yeah, because you want to like keep distance, right?
Yeah. Cool. All right, stand by.
Look at that
Yeah,
short
no,
bust of a
I
gap.
felt it. I felt it.
Now, Tiff, since you're not technically clearing a garment, what I want you to do, I want you to kind of almost act like it. Like just bring your hand here when you draw the gun. That way,
Memory.
it's muscle memory, and also gives you an index point to keep your hand away from being out here. Because if you keep your hand out here when you draw, like here, sometimes you're just gonna flag yourself. So we just wanna be careful. So as soon as the beep, when your hand comes down here, bring your other left hand to like your chest or your stomach or anything like that. Just so that you have an index point if you have a shirt that you need to clear, or it's just also telling yourself to keep your hand away from the muzzle or anything like that, okay? So we're gonna start here. You bring your both hands down, bring it up.
Our shooter's ready.
Ready?
Stand by. Beautiful.
All right.
That's
Next
good,
time I want you to push the pace a little bit,
Okay.
a little faster.
Shooter's ready.
Ready?
Stand by.
Good job.
Stand by.
The object of trying all these different positions is like you have to figure out where to move your hands in the time when something goes wrong. Like, am I going to be able to work from here, wherever your hands are, right? We don't really have anything to put.
Different scenarios.
Yeah, 100%. So we'll start hands crossed like this, and then you just kind of have to work through it every time, you know, like making sure this hand is clear. In your case, you're cleaning the garment anyways, but in your case, making sure you come from here, your hand is clear here, away from the firearm, you bring it up, and then you're coming out. Okay. Shooters ready?
Ready?
Stand by. Good. Good speed, bro. Picking up your dot going on in the center.
Mhm.
Cool. Does it feels a little easier doing the escalator, riding it up,
Keep
picking
those
that
elbows
dot?
just a little bit bent.
Yeah.
Because like, so lock out your elbows.
Exactly what I want you focusing
Lock
on,
them
too.
right out.
As soon as you get here and you're
Push up.
riding that escalator
Like,
up,
try-
that
like-
dot should just
Yeah.
See how
Right
easy that is?
A little
Bend your
shaky
elbows.
in the first drill,
No,
but
no,
keep
no.
the others.
100%.
See?
And that's why it's important to not look for the dot.
Yeah.
Always look at a small part of the target, right? Try to look at the smallest part of the center mass. One-handed draw, okay? The reason this could be necessary, right? Everyone talks about, oh, what if I'm in a gunfight and my arm gets shot, right? And then I have to use this arm and that's the only arm I have, right? That is a possibility, but the more likely thing that you see in a lot of self-defense videos is like when you have friends or you have kids or someone who can't defend themselves and you don't want them to be in harm's way. And a lot of times your reaction is going to be to get them
Use me as a dummy.
out of the way, right? and then that takes up my hand. Or if Dane, let's pretend Dane is a little 3-year-old child, you know, I'm gonna grab his hand and something's happening. Oh shit, someone's trying to hurt him, you know, I can't use that hand. You know what I'm saying? So that's the more likely scenario in my eyes. Obviously, there will be scenarios where you get into a gunfight, you guys are already shooting each other, he hits your arm or whatever, and then you're only able to use one arm. But the most likely thing you see is someone else you're protecting. Your likely habitual instinct is to try to protect them or get them back or have them follow you, you know, so to go to safety wherever safety may be, right?
A good example of that is Elijah Dickens from Indiana in the mall. He was like not coercing or like corralling people away from the shooter as he was
100% engaging.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of scenarios where administratively this arm is doing something else and something happens where he comes up and you can't get a full firing grip with 2 hands. So that's why some part in the day we will work a little bit of one-handed stuff. Now we're gonna have to start grabbing the garment with our right hand, right? So here's where it becomes almost necessary in my eyes to get under the bottom, right? What I like to do when I have to one-handed draw, if I can't grab the bottom, most of the time what I do, I put my thumb down, ride my thumb up through my thigh, so that way I bring the garment up with my thumb. The reason I do this is because if I do the traditional way of grabbing anywhere and I come up, I have to race the garment down to get to my gun. I beat it that time, but what if I come down and I get like this? I don't clear the garment. When I come under with my thumb, brush it up through my thigh, I come under the garment, I come up, my thumb is underneath my garment, so I'm always gonna almost guarantee race my gun and beat my gun back to the holster. Even if I don't, the shirt will land on top of my thumb right here, so that way when I pull it out, my thumb just kicks the shirt off, right? And that's another good reason that I have my thumb on the rear irons, is so that even when we're doing 2-handed draw, 1-handed draw, if I end up dropping the shirt too soon when I come down, and the sights would normally get snagged on that those rear sights or your red dot, keeping the thumb here allows the shirt to just slip off your thumb, because your thumb is smoother than the sharp edges on the rear sides, right? So again, I'm here, I'm doing something with someone else, I ride my thumb up, bring it up, I almost try to pin it up here, and then I just take my thumb out and just drive down to the gun. So that way, with my thumb underneath the shirt, my hand is already past my shirt, so I'm gonna win the race down to my gun every time. Okay, so that's what I want you guys to try. If you guys want to try the method of grabbing the bottom, you can. It's just a little bit trickier. When you grab the bottom, you come up here, you almost have to pin it like that to try to give you a little bit more time to try to race the gun down. But see, I tried to race the gun down there and I pinched some of my shirt with my grip, and I don't want to do that. So that's why I prefer just I'm here, I ride my thumb up into my shirt up here, boom, come out, come up, right? And now it's the same thing with the draw. As soon as I come up, I grab, thumb over the rear sight, finger over the belt. So when I want to come out, I'm dropping my elbow, I'm just presenting till I get the sights, okay? Same thing, just without the other grip, right? All right, so anyone have any questions about the one-handed draw technique? Cool, all right, we're gonna work on it right now. All right.
Shooters ready.
Ready.
Stand by.
I have this instinct.
Mm-hmm.
It works for me, I think.
Yeah.
I grab and pull to the side.
And that is an option, especially because you have a shirt that doesn't come down too far.
Yeah.
My shirt, where it comes down too far, I can't necessarily do that, because see, when I do that, it covers my grip, or it will hang on the dot.
This hangs on my grip, usually. Anyway,
It's coming up.
Pull it to the side, make it tight. You got real quick.
You can't, so do that again. That worked that time, you got your thumb around there. The first time you did that before, though, the only thing I'm worried about is you drove your thumb through here, so if you pick up garment right there, it's gonna fuck you up, because then you can't get the grip.
Okay,
You could try it.
No, I'll try.
Before what I saw what Tyler has done, what I would do is with the same, like the slap stomach technique, I would pin it with my wrist and then go down and grab it.
Yeah, and a lot of people do
Right.
that technique too. They pin, or I just go
Yeah.
under. It's totally up to you.
Yeah, whatever you're comfortable with. Shoes ready.
Ready.
A little lighter. Okay. Stand by.
That was beautiful.
That was good.
Yeah, that was beautiful. Shooter, stand by. Excellent. Good job. Look at that. Look at that perfect A zone shot.
Right.
Hell yeah, dude. It's excellent. Let's try to do that one more time, all right?
All right.
Shooter, ready?
Ready.
Stand by. Beautiful. Beautiful. Only thing I want to say to that, just
It felt sloppy, but yeah.
and it'll smooth out over time. Just what you're doing when you bring it up, you're also
Yeah.
leaning into it. So just try to don't. I think you're almost reverting back to the old Weaver stand style where you're almost trying to have this hand take over in that center positioning. So if you just if you focus on bringing it up to your eyes and keeping your hand center, right, it will and you don't move your head, it's going to force your arms to do the same force on it like that. See? So you just sit here and just bring it right up.
Okay.
And you're already going to be, you should be already leaning forward if you're kind of in a fight stance, right? So you're getting ready. So you're just kind of bringing it right up.
Okay.
Right up and you're on. Okay. But everything else was pretty good. Obviously the draw will smooth itself out as we go.
Yep.
All right. So we're going to do Mozambique right now.
All
Okay.
right. Two to the chest, one to the head.
Correct. Shooter ready?
Ready.
Stand by. Excellent. Good job, dude.
Thanks.
Hits are pretty good.
One outside the D, I think.
Oh, was it on the right? Or is it, oh, it was the left.
Left, yeah, that one on the right was already there.
Gotcha. And all that's telling me is it could be either your trigger press or your non-dominant grip. But what I would say, don't even worry about the trigger press too much.
Okay.
Just do a little more grip with your left, and that will kind of help that deviation. Trigger press also, but I guarantee it's more so you're allowing the gun to twerk a little bit on the second shot after the recoil. Yeah, so just be stronger, clamp down a little bit harder with your non-dominant. See?
See? Super easy.
Like it barely even kicks, you know? It's just like coming back a little bit.
So it's on safe. Yep, take it off, Stevie. All right, you're hot, so get your good grip. Yep, and then bend your elbows just a little bit.
And watch your thumbs over here. Bring that thumb up high. This thumb needs to be,
Yep.
and keep this
Remember, thumbs forward.
up there. Yeah, there you go.
And whenever you're ready,
Look, it ain't nothing.
keep going.
That scared me.
You're good.
Watch the
There you
gun.
go. Yep.
Yep. You got more. Keep going. There you go. Empty. And put the safety on, and I'll take it. Very nice.
Beautiful. Look at that. Good job.
So you notice when you had a distraction, how you forgot to take your
Yeah.
finger off the trigger and you were just about to point it anywhere.
Yeah.
So you really got to nail it in that you finger off the trigger and always point it downrange.
Just the important thing is that you do what we're showing you and you do it right.
And
It
you
doesn't
do it
matter
safe.
if it's super slow, you know, or extremely slow. Like you
Yeah.
took 20 seconds to get on target, but if you took 20 seconds to get on target and you did it right, that's progress. Because if you do it right slow, you're gonna do it right fast as long as you do it right slow enough. or
And we're
slow
not at a
times.
competition. We're not here measuring egos.
Dick sizes.
It's
I'm not fast.
yeah. It's not about that. It's about learning to defend yourself and to be safe about it, right? So
Go load up. I'm gonna run Bo a couple more drills real quick. I'll have her watch him. Very good, with the exception it was supposed to be a Mozambique drill.
Yeah, okay.
All right. You're good. Manage the threat. Shooter ready?
Ready.
Mozambique. I know.
Yep. Let me see your grip. Boop, just like that. All right. Don't worry about it. It'll bounce off you. You're fine.
I'm gonna keep working with that a little bit.
Yep, go for it. So you don't need to take your finger off the trigger every time. Okay, all right, that's fine then. Do what makes you feel comfortable.
Tiffany, ignore the beep.
There you go. You're out. So when it locks back like that, that means there's no ammo left. Okay, I'll take that. Thank you. How do you like it? Fun? Good. From what I see, you're not too bad of a shot. Are you aiming center mass? Okay. All right. Well.
So she knows her.
So you're aiming a little to the left, but for the most part, these are actually really good.
Stand by. Excellent, Bo. That was pretty good. That was actually very efficient. You waited to put your finger on the trigger till you were up here, which is perfect. Like everything you did there was super safe. Once you do it again, take 2 shots. Stand by.
Yeah.
So diagnose yourself. What do you think you did there?
Well, at first my draw was a little wonky because I got caught on my shirt. And as I was adjusting my grip, you know, I fired the first shot a little too quick, went to the right a little bit, had to find my dot, you know.
100%. And that's because, you know, that will happen. You fuck up one thing in the drill and it fucks up the rest of the stuff in the drill because you realized you lost a lot of time and you tried to make up that time by doing that first press on a sloppy grip.
It was better, but I had to find the dot again.
Okay.
My name is Bo Green. I am training with Spearhead Training Solutions on concealed carry weapons draws and, you know, training like that from concealed carry. The training from the instructors have felt very personal and very detail oriented. Tyler and Dane do a great job of noticing what you do wrong, what you can do better, and pinpointing those things for better accuracy. I feel like from the course, I'm definitely a better shooter than when I came, because of the attention to detail that they put into their training. I would come to another STS class in the future.
Don't want any trouble, I'm sorry, you know what I mean? Like, and you can use your hands up here, and that's why you want to do that. Just like try to say you're not threatening, like, hey man, I don't want to fight, you know, like 'cause you could say all that you want, but you're like, hey man, I'm sorry, you know, but like, what's that telling the person, right? So we have to do that with our body language to kind of show. We might not be genuine, right? But we want to show as much as we can that we're genuine because we don't want him, it can make it worse where he's like, oh, this guy's lying he's just being a bitch. He just want to fight me, right? But we want to try to show genuine validation as much as we can. So be like, hey man, look, I'm sorry, bro. Like, I apologize. So you're right. I screwed up. I'm sorry, man. Like, what do I got to do? You know, want me to buy you a drink, dude? I'm sorry. You know, like someone bumps into you at a bar, gets really mad, like, hey dude, let me buy you a drink. You know, it's not worth getting into a fight with that person, especially when you have a gun. You have more responsibility, you know what I mean? Like, you don't want to have to draw that, shoot him, go to court, you know, deal with the trauma of having to take someone's life again, you know what I mean, like that. So I say again, because I know you guys are in the military, and you know, I don't know what you've had to do, but it's none of my business. But you know what I mean. So, but you know what I'm getting at. You know, that stuff could be traumatic. I've never had to do that, but I know people who have done that, and I know it's traumatic. So we want to avoid that at all costs. You know, if we can just, like, is it worth an $8, you know, it's definitely worth an $8 drink to go home to your family. He can go home to his family. You know, maybe he's got a lot going on in his life, even though he wants to fight you, right? So which the goal here is trying to create distance, right? So if he has a knife, if you don't see like a hallway that way and you think you can outrun this guy, if he does have a knife, I would honestly just parry, and he draws a knife, I'd parry or just push off his shoulder to cut that angle to clear the distance and then draw, right? One of the options I would do, because I don't want to trust, if this is some skinny, tall, 6'3" guy who he probably looks like he runs track and field, I wouldn't want to turn my back to him and try to run if I think he's going to take a knife and be able to catch up and stab me in the back. You know what I mean? So my best bet, if I don't think I can outrun this guy, is to just block, oh shit, he's drawing a knife, try to redirect that knife out of the way just to give me some time to cut that angle to draw that gun, right? Another option we can do is if he's coming at us, and then we're blocking, and then, oh shit, I see him drawing a knife. What I can do is, if I don't want to cut the angle, I can just lean forward, keep my elbow in, so I'm creating a little distance away from where my gun's gonna be. So that way when I draw, I'm gonna come up, and as soon as I put my elbow down, like we were doing, creating that grip earlier, I'm gonna put my elbow down and back. Still keep my elbow out here, right? Because you want to try to frame. If I could be here, even better. But if I don't have that opportunity distance, I have something on my back and I can't get out, I'm just gonna have to use my elbow to keep my hips back, so that way I can come up and I can start driving shots down, right? That's an option. If I can't cut the angle to get away, if I can't redirect him and then get the hell out of there to cut that angle and create distance.
So the distance is already closed, basically. You gotta...
100%. If the distance is already closed, maybe he has guys on the other side of him, so you can't run past those guys. Some shit, I'm gonna have to go to work. Like, I'm in fear of my life. These guys are gonna murder me. They're gonna kill me. One of them is drawing a knife. Like, I need to start coming up here and I need to start running shots into them, right? You're just in a store. You're just trying to buy some shit. Doesn't matter. I'm just gonna walk in and then we'll go from there, okay? When I say index, that's going to mean that, like, either I'm going to call it end where I felt like the situation was avoided, or you stopped me as a threat with your firearm, right? If you do have to draw your firearm and you do have to defend yourself, do what you got to do and keep pressing the trigger, like, and I'll hear the clicks of the trigger. So just it'll be like click, click, click. I'll just hear the clicking, so I know it. I'll pay attention to where your muzzle is. So if your muzzle's on me and you're clicking, and I'll know, like, after like 3, 4, 5 shots, I'll either say index or just do whatever. I was gonna play dead, but I was like, fuck going to the ground in this heat. So, all right, so just do whatever. I'm just gonna come in. Hey man, you drive that Dodge out there?
Yeah.
There's a scratch on my car. It's white. Your car's white. It's right next to mine. You scratched my car, dude?
I don't remember doing that. Sorry, man.
That's really fucked up, dude.
Well, I apologize.
Are you serious?
Nope, didn't mean to do that.
What the fuck, dude? Are you gonna pay for that?
Need to back up.
Are you gonna fucking pay for that?
You can send me a bill. Let me know what. Maybe we can go out and look at it together. You want to come show me?
Can you just give me like $20 and we'll call it a day, dude? Please.
I can't do that right here. You show me at least so I know you got some proof.
All right, let's go outside, man. All right, cool. Good job, bro. Good job. Hey, what's up, dude?
Hey, what's up?
Do I know you from somewhere?
I don't recognize you.
I don't know, man. Like, I like those shoes, though. Can I get some of that? Can I get those shoes, dude?
No, these are my shoes. You can't have them.
Dude, please. There's a lot I do for those shoes, dude. You know what I mean? There's a lot I do for those shoes, bro.
Hey, man,
there's a lot.
Back up.
All right, good job. So now, what I would have done, I would have, if my hands are in my pockets, right?
Yeah.
Be a little wary of that, and you were. So as soon as I started coming out, I think if your goal is to already go for the gun, put your hand out a little sooner in case I started running.
Okay.
Because I was going slow the entire time, but as soon as I got a full grip on here, I can just change my pace like instantly, and you need to have the hand ready. So as soon as you see my hand start coming out and I'm holding a handle or something like that, just be like, hey dude, like, whoa, like, what's going on, right? Like, in case he just starts fucking rushing at you. You want something in between you, right? And then, or if you don't want to have the hand, pick up your pace going back, right?
Yeah.
Like, pick up your pace, just bouncing back, right? Bouncing back. And remember, like, don't cross your feet necessarily like this, you know, just keep skipping back, you know, like, hey dude, because like if he comes too fast, you gotta throw a strike, you know what I mean? So But that was good. Like, you got the gun out fast. That was a really good draw, perfect draw. And you said, hey man, I'm gonna shoot, and then you already came out and started shooting. And make sure when you do the jab, and then as you're pulling this hand back to bring this one forward, you're pulling this back to your shirt.
Okay.
So it's like boom, boom. So that way when this comes back, you can either bring your elbow forward again, or you can just leave it here to build that grip. I would just build the grip. Unless he's like right on top of you with a knife still, you'd probably still want to hear and do one-handed, but the idea is we're gonna try to get 2 hands on the gun whenever we can, right? So that's what I want you to aim for. So boom, 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 draw, bang, bang, bang. Do it very slow because I want you, be safe. This potentially could be a dangerous drill if we're not safe, so let's just do it like 30% speed, all right? Shooter ready?
Ready.
Understand the course of fire?
Yeah.
Stand by. Threat!
Hey, man.
So you got to be careful there too, because you flagged yourself when you put it back in the holster.
Okay.
And also, don't be too eager to end the drill, right? I want you to have a good follow through, like come back, boom, boom, boom. Did he go down? Search and assess. Is he still on the ground? Right. You can walk around him, you can still gain distance. Like, hey, call 911, someone call 911, you know what I mean? Like, watch you get in that habit of still keeping the gun on him, because before you put and obviously I get it's habit because it's the end of the drill, right? Yeah. But I want you to get in the habit of just like, boom, 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 he went down. Okay, is he still down? Is he still going for that gun? Like, I need to make sure the threat's ended before I, do put my handgun away.
Okay.
So. All right, let's try that again. Just be safe when you're coming back into the holster, okay?
Roger.
All right, shooter ready?
Ready.
Stand by. Fight!
Damn it. No.
Fix it, fix it, fix it. There you go.
Yeah.
Now safely. So what went wrong there? You built your grip wrong, right?
Yep.
Yep.
Did.
So you did the right thing by keeping the thumb out on the back, but then when you came up, you shot without building the grip with the thumb down. Okay. So if you need to slow it down again, I want you to. Yep. Slow it down. Think about what you're doing. Let's get it right. Let's be safe. Right there on that malfunction, when you get a click, tap rec.
Yeah, yeah.
You almost did it like a double feed clearance,
Yeah,
but
Matt pulled the mag out.
yeah. So if you have a malfunction, I trust you to clear it. You've cleared malfunctions before. You got this, okay? All right, shooter ready?
Ready.
Stand by. Fight! Hell yeah, look at that. This is good. Target down. Is he still a threat? All right, police are on their way. You're good, man. Cool, sweet. Good follow through, good shots too. You hit like 2 here and 1 right in that A zone right there. All right, so let's do it one more time. Let's try to get a good reel for Adam over here. All right, shooter ready?
Ready.
Stand by. He's got a knife! Is he down?
He's down, yep.
Cool, all right, reholster. Good.